We're back here on a weekend, and that means we are working here. This is Esports Extra, episode 8. Esports Extra, the show that talks traditional sports, esports, gaming, culture, and entertainment. Larry Ridley here, CBS Sports, Madden, NFL, NBA 2K League. Good to be back here on a weekend right here with our television partner, BNC Black News Channel. That is truth. Let's go ahead and talk about what this show is all about this week. We got about 8 topics this week for you here. We're talking traditional sports, esports, gaming, entertainment, and culture. We're going to start with Cam Newton, NFL, COVID testing. We'll get into some of that. Also, Teddy Bridgewater, the Denver Broncos, named him the NFL's the starting quarterback of that NFL team there. Carson Wentz, speaking of quarterbacks, another quarterback is back a little earlier than we expected. He's going to be ready to go for the horseshoes up there in Circle City, Naptown, Indianapolis. Pac-12, Big Ten, ACC, they've got an alliance. What that means is they're scared of the SEC. We'll get to that. We got a guy here that was a captain of a Big Ten team playing the National Football League. We'll talk about that. Nerlens Noel got a problem with his agent, who happens to be LeBron James' best friend, Clutch Sports. Interesting topic there. We'll just leave it at that. We'll get into some of that. Serena Williams, no go. She is out of the U.S. Open. That stinks here in the city. I was looking forward to watching her in Flushing Meadows at the U.S. Tennis Center. That's not going to happen. We'll get into that as well. NBA 2K League playoffs this weekend right here in Dallas. We'll talk about that big esports event there to see who's going to be crowned the Season 4 champs. And Madden 22 just came out last week. Has been out about a week now. And we've got the top 10 player rankings in the NCS, Madden Championship Series. Not our league, but the NCS. That's the big one. Over $1 million once again given out for Madden 22 this year. All right, let's go ahead and bring in the co-host for this weekend here on BNC Esports Sector. Got Brandon Bell, former Bengals linebacker, Penn State University Navy line captain, played on that 2017 Rose Bowl team. All around good guy. Brandon Bell, what's up, Bo?
What's going on, Larry? I'm glad you think I'm a good guy.
All around good guy, not just a good guy, all around good guy. And it is confirmed like a Don King Kermit. I checked about it. Antonio Williams down there in Dalworth. How you doing, kind sir?
Doing all right. No complaints. Happy to be here.
I like that. Nice, short, and sweet, man. That's what that Brandeis education gets you, folks. Short and sweet. We'll stay deep in the heart of Texas. Go down a little bit further south there. I guess southeast, if you want to say that. Kelly Wells Brinkley, she's our Olympian, our Queen to be, 2012 track and field bronze medalist in London. Kelly Wells Brinkley, what's up, girl?
Man, you see me rocking rough and tough with my Afro puff today.
Rage.
Like, I'm here.
Rage.
So excited to be back.
I see you, girl, looking good, too, with that naturalness, girl, that melanin popping. I see you. And then we'll come back up here to where I'm at. I'm in Jersey, right over the river, Manhattan, all the 5 boroughs and all that good stuff. He's in Carnoustie, Durham, Worrell, fellow sportscaster. What's up, Dak Wood?
I'm doing good, hanging in there, man, trying to survive this little heat wave.
Yeah, Carnoustie, right?
Brooklyn, no, Canarsie. Come on, get it right.
Got it. Okay, yeah, Park Slope, Williamsburg, right?
No, Canarsie.
Okay, got it. Bed-Stuy, Iverson's sister, all good. Brandon Bill, let's go ahead and get started here. Guys, we're talking Cam Newton missed 5 days over the weekend, Saturday all the way through Wednesday, came back Thursday for his practice, had to miss those 5 days. Went to go take a test that was approved by the Patriots, but not in sync with the NFL and the NFLPA and the protocols with COVID-19. Had to miss 5 days as sort of a re-entry process, if you will. AKA, folks, Cam Newton has not taken the vaccine. He has not been vaccinated. That's the bigger story here. If you just sort of read the tea leaves, don't know why he doesn't want to do it. Personal decision. Respect that. But going forward, Brandon Bill, you've been in NFL locker rooms up until last year. How is this playing out in NFL locker rooms? Atlanta Falcons, by the way, 100% vaccination rate. First among NFL teams. That happened last week. I remember mentioning that on CBS Sports. Your thoughts here, how this could affect an NFL team if you're trying to win big, and how to keep sort of these protocols and the NFL off your back. And hopefully you don't have to forfeit anything of that nature, Brandon. Go your thoughts.
I think it's tough. It's definitely going to be a tough conversation in the locker room. The NFL is not playing with protocols and COVID. You know, they're trying to play every game, have everything, you know, TV contracts, everything matters. So they're going to be on top of guys, and they might make this thing mandatory across the board. We'll see.
Well, we know in New York City, you have to show that vaccination if you want to eat in restaurants and things of that nature. And it's coming maybe around flights. So it's coming throughout the general public. Antonio Williams, your thoughts here. You played college sports. I did as well. How this could sort of impact, if you will, the team dynamic.
Very much so, because you have some guys that'll say, you know what, it's your own personal choice. Then you have some guys, especially if you are playing what some people say is the most important position in professional sports, you have some people that say you need to go ahead and get this because not only is this about you, it's about our fortunes as well as a team. Again, I agree with you. That's a personal choice. Do whatever it is that you want to do, but it certainly has it could certainly impact the team dynamic for sure.
Derwin Worrell, you're a smart guy. I like to lean on you with complex issues and things dealing with society. How's this playing? You're a smart guy. I'll give you credit for that. For now, until you say something crazy, and I got to reel you back in. Your thoughts here. How's this playing out in the Patriots locker room? We all know they love Cam. That is a stone cold fact. But if you're not available, that affects your ability.
Yeah, you're not available. You can't help the team. And Cam, he better be careful because already for this week, the backup, the rookie, has been able to take all the reps. He's going to play in a preseason game. And Cam could lose his job once if he gets COVID again. And he's already had it last year. And for the guys who have not gotten their vaccine, I think the process of them being reinstated is longer. So this is really nothing to fool with. And I don't know what his hang up is, but he should get it. And also Lamar Jackson is another one that you have to look out for because if he misses games, the Ravens are screwed.
Yeah, there's no Joe Flacco or anybody behind him. Also, Cole Beasley. Let's not forget about him, the little slot receiver for the Buffalo Bills. Kelly Willis, your thoughts here. Kelly Willis Brinkley, Cam Newton with the New England Patriots. Well, I think they're going to be pretty good this year, better than people think. Over under, I believe, like 9.5. So people are expecting them to win, 9, 10, 11 games. They should be back maybe in that playoff picture as well. Your thoughts how this is sort of impacting the Patriots locker room right now?
Cam's the homie. Like, that's my homie. And get the vaccine, don't get the vaccine, personal choice. But when it comes down to the detriment of the team, I think it's going to start creating division in a locker room. And when you lose the locker room, your team's dead in the water, no matter how much talent you have. If you have players on this side that have it, players on this side that doesn't have it. I also think that there needs to be maximum communication between the NFL, the PA, and the teams and the players. Everything needs to be spelled out in writing because this was a mistake. He was approved to go see a doctor. So I think that communication has to be open, but also you have to watch for that division in the locker room because no matter how much talent you actually have, this will break a team no matter what.
Brandon, the Patriots said in the statement it was a misunderstanding. He did travel outside of the New England region. Once again, you've been in that locker room, man. Is this something that you would have a conversation with another grown man and another player about, like, dude, we're all trying to win, man. I know politically, maybe personally, religious-wise, you don't want to get the vaccine, but we're trying to win. And this is a team. Together, everyone achieves more, Brandon.
Yes, exactly. And that's why, as Kelly said, it's going to be division because at the end of the day, it's going to start affecting pockets. And if games are canceled and this and that, nobody wants that. Everybody wants that check. And that's going to be a tough one. I don't know. People, as we know, Beasley, we've heard quotes from, just like friends and anyone else in America, people feel strongly on either side of this, and they're sticking to it. So we'll see.
I can't do it. I don't want to put you on the spot like that. I will pass on this one. Antonio Williams.
Hey, I'll say, I ain't hold nothing back. Ask me what you want to ask me.
I'm vaccinated. Would you take the shot if you're still in the NFL? I'm
vaccinated.
There you go.
There's your answer. Come on.
And Antonio Williams, real quickly, your thoughts here. Will the other players start looking at him a little funny? Even the guys that really like him, which is 95% of that team there. But if you're not available, get these side eyes.
And that's what I was alluding to when I was saying you have the guy that plays the most important position possibly in professional sports, and he has your fortunes in the palm of his hand.
All right, we'll see what happens with the Patriots and everyone else regarding the COVID vaccine and the vaccination rates. I know the NFL has said we will forfeit games if you're not in line. Now, two teams are sort of not in line. That's a different story. But look, they're making it very serious. Like, look, we're going to affect you guys where it hurts, which is in the pocket, record-wise, and we'll see maybe even on draft picks as well if it gets really gross out there. Let's go ahead and take a break, guys. We'll come back and continue to talk on the National Football League, talk a couple of quarterbacks. Teddy Two Gloves, Brandon Bell's guy. Teddy Bridgewater, man, he's on his third straight NFL team. Played with the Saints a couple of years ago, Panthers last year, now with the Broncos. He's been named a starter, and congratulations to Teddy. He's been through a lot. We'll get into that. Also, another quarterback, another starter, working his way back. Messed up his foot, had surgery literally like 3 weeks ago, and he is back. Looked like he is going to play week one. There's Carson Wentz. He's got a horseshoe on the side of his helmet. Probably a little lucky, too, to be back this soon. Maybe he's just a good healer. We'll talk about that. You're watching Esports Extra right here on BNC. Welcome back here to Esports Extra. We are the show that talks traditional sports, esports, gaming, entertainment, and culture. Esports Extra, episode 8, right here on BNC. All right, let's come inside here. Larry Ridley, senior sports fan, NFL, NBA 2K League. Got a cast of characters. Brandon Bell, former Bengals linebacker, Penn State University captain there. Antonio Williams, former college basketball player, Phoenix Sun scout. Durham Morrell, all-around good guy, great husband, very wicked, smart as well. And then Kelly Wells Brinkley. Yes, she's a wife. Yes, absolutely. And she's an Olympic medalist, bronze medalist. Not former Olympic medalist, bronze medalist, 2012 London Games, won the bronze there in the hurdles. Guys, let's keep it in the National Football League. Teddy Bridgewater has been named the starting quarterback of the Denver Broncos. Both guys actually played pretty well. It was really close. And you just, you kind of have to pick a guy, but you're stuck with two pretty good quarterbacks here. Yeah. I looked at Teddy Bridgewater, 3 incompletions the entire preseason. Very good, 16 of 19, couple of touchdowns. Drew Lock had a good first preseason game. Second game was just a little off. Still pretty good, but overall 14 of 21. So Teddy Bridgewater, higher completion percentage. I think Lock threw for more yards. They threw for the same amount of touchdowns. It comes down to, scrimmages and, the workouts with the other teams. And I would say slight lean to Teddy Bridgewater. I think this is the right call. Your thoughts here on Teddy B, Two Gloves, getting the call.
Yeah, man, it makes sense. They're going to rely on that defense, run game, and some of the weapons on the outside, but they're in a good spot. They've got, like you said, if Teddy comes out and he's falling apart, they got a young guy that's hungry and ready to take some shots downfield. So the Broncos are in a good position.
Yeah, and Drew Lock had some decent bright spots last year. Drafted 2 or 3 years ago by the Broncos. Antonio Williams, your thoughts here? Did Vic Fangio get it correct?
I think for where this team is, yes. Whoever's in second place in this division has a really good chance because the other teams in the division, quite frankly, aren't that good, especially to beat up on my Raiders. So, with that being said, I'm just looking at that and I'm just saying, for me, I think it's the right call. We've seen this recipe before. The Broncos were able to ride this recipe to the Super Bowl, have a quarterback that doesn't make mistakes. That's what they had in Peyton Manning because he can throw the ball 15 yards. So for me, it makes sense.
Jerry Jeudy got a nice tight end. Got Cortland, another big receiver out there. Defense is really good. Kelly Wells Brinkley. Teddy Bridgewater, he's set up for a little bit of success here. Better than that Panthers team he played on last year.
Teddy is the home. Got some weapons. He can rely on the defense to do their job because if both sides of the ball are doing their job, nobody feels slighted. So I'm super excited. I think this is a valuable thing for him. He is wonderful, great all-around guy, and, good person. So I'm super excited about this one.
Yeah, we remember that horrific injury that he suffered with the Vikings. Had a playoff game against your Seahawks, Durham Morrell. It wasn't for that daggone bad kicker on a pretty pitiful extra point. They may have gone into overtime and won that game outdoors there. Was it 5-6 years ago, wherever it was? Durham, your thoughts here. You like the Broncos and Fangio picking Teddy Bridgewater in a very close, narrow competition?
Yeah, I think it was the right decision. Making the playoffs is going to be tough because Antonio's forgetting about those Los Angeles Chargers, but I think going to be right there.
I agree.
And if Bridgewater at some way during the season starts to falter, this Drew Lock is fired up. I watched his press conference today, and he's fired up because he's disappointed he didn't get the job. So he's going to be, chomping at the bit to get in there. And it also could light a fire underneath him. And he, at the end of the day, he's the
Already has.
future. He's the future. It's not Bridgewater at this point in his career.
But here's the guy that turned the ball over a little bit last year, threw some timely interceptions, one of the top 5 worst quarterbacks when it came to interceptions last year. Also completion percentage was down in the 50s at times last year. So here's a guy that needs to work. A good quarterback with a good arm that came out of Mizzou. Let's move to the next topic here. And Fangio said it was a close competition. He should be a little upset, but got to pick somebody. I wonder how much of a leash Teddy Bridgewater has. That's the question. We don't have a lot of time to talk about that right now. Carson Wentz back, guys. We talked about the foot injury, crazy foot injury that basically broke a bone in his foot. Found out it's been there for a while. Maybe tracing it back to his North Dakota State days, maybe even high school, but it seemed like maybe potentially college. Your thoughts here on Carson Wentz aiming to play week 1? Been only 3 weeks, guys. We were told 5 to 7 weeks on the prognosis there as far as the rehab. He's going to beat that easily. When he comes back week 1, it'll be right at 5 weeks. You got surprised that Carson Wentz is going to be back? I was thinking no sooner than week like 3 or 4. Now he's going to be back. He's already practicing 2 weeks before the first game. Brandon, Bill, your thoughts here, Carson Wentz. Colts, breathing a sigh of relief here.
Yeah, definitely. They definitely are. The lineman is coming back as well. One of their top guards, Nelson.
Yeah, Quentin Nelson.
Quentin Nelson, yep. And I mean, hey, I've succumbed to some injuries and came back a lot faster than I was supposed to. So I'm not too surprised. All I hope for is that he takes his time. They take their time with him. And I know they want him for week 1, but I really want to see Carson Wentz play a full season and, prove some people wrong. Eagles country is where I live now, and they got him out of here. So I'm hoping they take their time and he's able to heal correctly. And because, you got to react, doing drills and things, those are different than in the game. People are flying at you. So I hope he heals up and plays a full season.
We call those live bullets, my friend, where you're playing in the real games. Was this close? If he didn't get hurt 3 or 4 years ago, he would have been the MVP and not Tom Brady. So you're right about that. Kayla Wills, Brinkley, your thoughts here, Carson Wentz. Any concern that he's back too soon? Or is this just, hey, great news for the Colts?
I just want someone to put down his voodoo doll. Like, whoever has it, whoever's sticking the pins in it, like, stop. I'm sure he is sorry for whatever he did. Like, he just has, like, the worst luck all the time. I'm excited that he's back, but I agree with Brandon of, reps and practice and drills are very different from a live game, that live action, having to make, a turn on a dime. So take it slow because the season is just getting started. We're not in a rush. This is not the playoffs. We don't have to win right now. Of course, everybody wants to win, but, you got to think chess, not checkers.
Good point there. Hey, Willie, your thoughts here. Carson Wentz coming back. Any surprise that it's this soon? I'm not going to lie. I am. I'm a little shocked that it's this soon. I thought maybe he'd be back to practicing. He practiced Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Not going to play this weekend in the preseason game, but he's pretty much back. And Frank Reich even said, looked pretty damn good out there, too.
Yeah, what it speaks to is oftentimes we hear people talking about salaries with professional athletes, people that aren't professional athletes. It's like, these guys are playing for the money. This guy could have sat down and still got paid. He could have milked this. He could have slow walked it and still got paid. What it speaks to is the fact that even with him being in a position where nobody is challenging him for that starter spot, there's still pressure there. There's still pressure to perform. So for him to come back as early as he did, of course, he approached that rehab diligently, got back in the saddle early because he wants to perform and he wants to be there. You don't want to create some sort of opportunity for somebody else on a really good team. That's what happened to him when they went to the Super Bowl. So he doesn't want to see that, watch that movie again. So.
And the team's loaded. Got good receivers, got a really good offensive line. He's like, y'all not going to Wally Pep me. Derwin, he's going to be there that first week 1 against your team, the Seattle Seahawks. Are you worried now that maybe the Colts might put an elbow on you guys out there with the 12s?
Well, I'm not worried because of Carson Wentz. I'm more worried about what we're going to look on defense. Are we going to be able to get a pass rush? That's always been my concern for the Seahawks. But I can't think of another player that this season means is big for this guy. I mean, he's going to a playoff team. This is their window. And they traded for him. He went through what he went through in Philly. He has to perform. And man, he's got to get it done. So I can see him. I definitely see him playing week 1. Something just tells me he's going to be out there, but he really needs to perform this season.
And I hope he plays well week 1. You said playing week 1. I want him to play well week 1 against those Hawks.
It's gonna be tough, man. He hasn't even had a preseason game.
That's true. He's a professional. Let Russ cook. You're right about that. We'll see week 1. We got a couple weeks to sort of digest this. All right, let's take a break. We're going to come back. Continue the football conversation instead of pro football. We're going to go to the collegiate ranks. The Pac-12, the Big Ten, the ACC, forming an alliance. What does it mean? Well, it's got 3 pillars. We'll talk about that. Commissioners of those 3 conferences got together. This is to sort of combat the SEC. Notice I said sort of, at least that's their words on that. We'll talk about it next here on BNC. You're watching Esports Extra. This is Esports Extra right here on BNC, episode 8, the show that talks traditional sports, esports, gaming, entertainment, and culture. Larry Ridley here, CBS Sports Madden, affiliate in the 2K League. Got Brandon Bill, Antonio Williams, Kelly Rose Brinkley, Derwin Worrell here on the show. Kelly, we'll start with you. The Pac-12, the Big Ten, ACC. They have this alliance. They got together, came out with the press conference on Tuesday. The commissioners of those 3 leagues, the Big Ten, the Pac-12, and the ACC, basically sort of in response to what the SEC did in Pilford, the 2 biggest schools in the Big 12, taking OU and Texas. Of course, that'll start as soon as 2025. More than likely next year, if they start working on this bio. Still, I don't know where the hell the Big 12 is. I mean, they got the commission out there talking. It's like, dude, where are you guys? I mean, you guys need to really focus on keeping this thing together. I doubt if they can. We'll see. But look, the commissioners, they talked about scheduling, how they can get together with their 41 institutions and universities in the Pac-12, Big Ten, ACC. Also, the college football playoff access. I think they want to slow this thing down, Brandonville. We'll talk to you about that. They don't want to do 12. Because they know that just might help the SEC with their new members in the Super Conference at 16. And also academics. I'll get Antonio's thoughts on that. But your thoughts here, Kelly Wells, here, just on the general thing here with these 3 conferences not named the SEC and this, I guess we'll call it a loose alliance anyway, an alliance of convenience.
Shout out to the homie Kevin Warren. But what I will say is,
Commissioner of the Big Ten, right?
Yep. He's phenomenal. But what I did hear was a lot of nothing in the press conference. There was a lot of, this is a gentleman's handshake and, there's lots of things to tie up in this. So I want to hear more details behind it. But I do understand it because you do have to do something against the SEC because it's now a super conference. They've got TV rights. It's all that everyone's talking about. So I want to see how this is going to play out. I want to see how it's going to play out with the NIL. I want to see how all of this is going to come together because college football as we know it is not the same. Shakeups are happening and it'll never look like it looked a year ago. So we can only press forward and see what comes out of it now.
Yeah. Brandon, I will say this. I do like the scheduling component of it where you want to start getting some more games, especially with 3 main sports there, or the 3 biggest sports that they talk about, football, men's and women's basketball. I do see some natural rivalries there, sectional, regional rivalries or whatever, or just, we've seen the Big Ten and the Pac-12 play, the granddaddy of them all. You played in the Rose Bowl there. Your thoughts here on that portion of this and how that could affect those 3 leagues and 3 conferences?
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, I personally, I think I love it, the idea of it at least. And it makes sense. As you guys said, the SEC is big and powerful. Why not? We're not sure what that's going to be yet, but I'm sure I'll enjoy it at least, seeing some different matchups going against each other. But I do worry about, the actual kids, the players. That's going to be a lot of travel and things of that nature if they do it that way. I just hope they'll still be able to get the best out of it for the students as well.
Well, they're going to focus on the academics, and that's something that, Antonio, I want to get your thoughts here because I thought it was very fascinating how you had lawyers say, be careful, guys. This alliance here, you can't be talking about, academics as far as, cost of tuition, NIL, and things of that nature. That's collusion. Can't do that. Absolutely. Antonio Williams.
You cannot do that. So, because that's part of the reason why we're seeing this, because if people think that they want to combat that recruiting advantage that the SEC has built in because of the fact that, as Kelly said, the markets and the teams that they have. I think the other thing that you have going on here with that alliance is the fact that all those three conferences that are aligning, that are coming to this gentleman's agreement, looked at what happened with the Big 12. Part of the reason why the Big 12 was in the situation that it was in is because of the inequality in the first place. When Nebraska entered the conference, they were looking to get out because everybody was mad at Texas, looking at how Texas had its structure. So it was on the way out when it was actually in its inception. So what these other schools are looking at now, and they're saying, when we separate, because these power conferences are going to separate at some point, it's happening. When they separate and they do their own thing, what they're saying is we got to make sure that we have our structure in place to combat the SEC. Because in this case, the SEC is the Texas of the Big 12. That's how it would be structured if you don't address that now. So what these other major conferences are doing are addressing it now. So when they separate, all right, we already got this thing straight. Mm-hmm. That's what they're doing.
Right. Derwin, I thought it was fascinating how they had this gentleman's agreement. And I'm thinking 41 institutions, 3 of the 5 biggest Power 5 conferences, and there's no written agreement. What is this?
I mean, sometimes your word is your bond. I'm an old school dude. So, I like it because at least they're not standing pat and not doing anything. And if you're in the Big 12, you're just sitting out there in the cold with no shirt on. But I thought about it. You know, you got a couple of basketball schools. You know, ACC to me is a basketball conference. I think the Big 10 is kind of you could say they're both.
No, Big 10's good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I see some good rivalries there. I thought about North Carolina, UCLA, but I do worry about travel. Luckily, D1, they fly. You know, but that Washington Husky to the U, that's a long trip. But hey, you know, it's different. It's different. You got to try something because right now all eyes are on the SEC, and you got to try something different. If not, they're just gonna run away with everything. All the money, they just got all eyes are on them.
Anybody got? Y'all got me started with the college football. That's my heart. I'm sorry. Especially when it comes to football down south. Let's take a quick time out. We'll come back. We'll talk hoops. Nerlens Noel, guys, here on Esports Extra, episode 8 as we continue. Got an issue with his agent, Rich Paul, good friends with, of course, LeBron James, Clutch Sports. We'll break it all down for you. And how in the hell did you get $58 million? That's the alleged issue there. We'll talk about that here when we return. Esports Extra right here, BNC. Working on a weekend like usual back here at Esports Extra, episode 8. We are the show that talks traditional sports, esports, gaming, entertainment, and culture. All right, Larry here. CBS Sports Back, NFL, NBA, 2K League, Brandon Bill, Antonio Williams, Kelly Wells, Brinkley, Derwin World. Guys, we're talking NBA. I want you guys to get in here. Nerlens Noel suing his agent, Rich Paul, best friends with LeBron James and Clutch Sports, claims that they kind of hurt his value, and he's missing $58 million in potential revenue that he would have had with contracts. Look, I will say this, 2 sides to it. Rich Paul says you owe me $200,000 with the contract that you just signed a year or 2 ago. And he's saying you owe us $58 million. Now, Brett Brown, coach of the Sixers, there was a story out there that said he was looking at trying to get in contact with Nerlens Noel's agent and wasn't able to, which would be Rich Paul. Other people are corroborating that as well. During the time, they couldn't get in contact with Rich Paul. Kelly, Derwin, y'all go. Those are facts.
Well, I think not Rich Paul, but Noel had a deal on the table with the Mavericks for 4 years, $70 million, and $71 million, and Rich Paul told him
not to take it. Why did he take it?
She told him not to take it. Rich Paul told him not to take it.
So I got an agent too. I got an agent too. Tells me all sorts of things.
So
he do what I want to do.
Well, he advised.
Your advisor. That's your advisor.
I get that, but the point is, he advised him not to take it. So he took his advice, and he wound up hurting himself later on. His stats diminished, and he wound up losing out on money.
But getting injured is the price you pay for doing business in any sport. You got to know every time I step on the field, court, whatever it is, the pool, whatever it is, like this could be it. This could be my last, or I could be out for an extended period of time. So he could have sat down with himself or his wife or baby mama or whoever he got and made a decision for
No,
himself.
not baby mama.
No.
Some people live with their baby mamas.
That's true. Fair
A
enough.
union.
Fair
So,
enough.
so he could have made the decision for himself, but he decided to, and because that's what happens when you gamble. When you go to Vegas and you throw the chips down, you gamble and you could win or you could lose, and he lost.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I'm not saying that he don't owe the man money or all of that, but he does. He does owe Rich Paul $200,000 because a contract is a contract, a deal is a deal, and so if someone if someone does the work for you, then you got to pay them. It's like the IRS. You got to pay them first before you can get your refund back.
But also, as Larry said, they were trying to get in touch with his agent. He was MIA. Mm-hmm. So come on, you can't do deals. You can't find the agent. So he said,
also valid.
The agent's got to pay for that.
Well,
he lost out on deals.
Maybe he gets sanctioned. I don't know. You can't say the agent. I owe you. You cost me a $200 million contract. That's tough. Hey, we'll get in here.
It's interesting to me because a couple of things. I think both people are right. I think Kelly's right. I think Durbin's right. And because when you look at the NBA, you look at him as a player. The NBA is the only league in the world where you can be an energy player. You can get paid handsomely to do it. If you go to Europe and you play, you're an American, you ain't over there to be an energy person. You're over there to put the ball in the bucket. He's an energy guy. Had a great contract on the table. Maybe you need to take that. On the other side, this stuff happens more than what we think it is. We had the big issue. I know Brandon's in the Philadelphia area. The big issue with one of the reasons why T.O. was able to get to Philly is we remember the agent before Drew Rosenhaus made a big mistake. So a big mistake. He actually didn't opt. He did something where T.O. wasn't able to become a free agent. So T.O. was playing under a under market deal.
A bad contract.
So that happened. So that led to all of these things that we've seen with T.O. That was the start of it. So for me, this stuff happens more than what people think, what we think. Saying one of the reasons why it happens is because, like Kelly was saying, like you were saying as well, Larry, we put too much stock in what the agent does. Way too much stock. You give them too much power over your career. So I think it's something that could have been avoided, especially when you play in a league and you're an energy guy and you get paid handsomely to be an energy guy. Take that money.
Brandon, 30 seconds here. Dennis Schroeder, didn't he turn out 4 years, $84 million with the Lakers? Where's his agent?
Hey,
nobody's talking about his agent, is it?
That's true. That's true. At the end of the day, every player wants to bet on myself, double down, but players lose. Guys lose on those bets. And that, what Kelly said, going on gambling, and what A. Will said, it happens a lot, way more than we even know. So you can lose when you bet on yourself.
Yeah, tough situation. I feel bad for Nerlens Noel. Look, it's not right that they could not find his agent. When I saw that story with Brett Brown, I was like, ooh, that's not good. But the bottom line is Nerlens probably does owe Rich that money from the last contract. Regardless of how big or small or paltry it is, I have to pay my agent what I owe him, whatever that is, regardless of the job that he does. So, he ain't getting $58 million. I think we can all agree on that. Will he get something? I don't know. But you can't just really dump on Rich Paul either, because Draymond Green got $100 million and he's an energy guy. He averaged, 6, 7, 8 points a game. So Rich Paul and those guys at Clutch are doing something good and something right. Look at your guy, KCP. He got money from LeBron and Clutch and those guys. So it's a tough one. I'm a side slightly with Rich and those guys. I've got an agent. You got any issues? Get rid of his money. It's that simple. But Nerlens, man, I hope he gets some money back. That's tough. That hurt you right here. Let's go ahead and take a break, guys. We'll come back. We're going to talk Serena Williams to go on the tennis court. She's not going to be here in Gotham to play at the U.S. Open. It's a crying shame. I got that torn hamstring. She's still recovering from that. We'll break it all down. We'll talk Serena Williams right here, Esports Extra on BNC. We're back here on Esports Extra, episode 8, right here on BNC. We're the show that talks traditional sports, esports, gaming, entertainment, and culture. We'll come inside here later to CBS Sports Matt, NFL, NBA 2K League. Brandon Bell, former Bengals linebacker, Antonio Williams, former Sun Scout, Dora Worrell, a great TV sports guest. We're Color Rose Brinkley, Olympic bronze medalist from the London Games in 2012. Guys, all right, let's talk Serena Williams. Still, don't want to say stuck on 23. That's a bit much. Still with 23 Grand Slams, one away from the record there. Last won a Grand Slam, gotta go, 4 years ago, 2017? She's not going to be in the U.S. Open. She withdraws, still recovering from the torn hamstring. Gosh, she's 40. And I've gone to the U.S. Open, I think, 2 of the last 3 or 4 years here? 2 of the last 4, because I didn't go last year because of COVID. And I'm waiting for this thing, man. I want to see Serena win this Grand Slam. Now I'm wondering, guys, is she ever going to get that 24th slam? That's all I care about. Kelly Rose Brinkley, you're an Olympian. You've won at the very highest of levels. Your thoughts here? Do you think Serena gets it, or not father time, mother time catching up to Serena?
Well, that's one thing you can never beat. Time always wins. But I think Serena is at the point in her career, like, does it matter? Like, we all have an expectation from her as an athlete of, I want her to do this, I want her to do that. She's at the point where, like, that doesn't matter. Our wants and our expectations may not match up with hers. She may now be playing for a whole different reason. She is completely closed off from the media. She's not as open as she was. She doesn't express her emotions as she did before, because words are always twisted. So we don't know, why she's playing or why she's not playing. We do know that she has an injury, and in hamstring, especially the hamstring injury that she had is the same one that I had in mine. And that ligament, when it's torn, it heals like a bone. So you have to take that time, take that step back, and let it heal. And when you get older, you guys know your body does not recover the same. It doesn't heal the same. It doesn't feel the same. She had a baby, and even though her baby's not a baby anymore, your body changes after that. Once I had my son, my body did not feel like, and it still never feels like what it felt like previous to what, pre-baby. So she's got a handful of things. So I think grace is given. She is the GOAT. No one will ever be as good as she is. People can rival her, but they won't be as great and as iconic as she is. So we can all have our expectations. She's just fine.
Yeah, no one will have the sustained success over 20 years like she has. Derwin, your thoughts here? Serena Williams out at the U.S. Open.
Man, I honestly feel, I think she really wanted that 24.
Still does. There's not one tense. There's no past tense. It's current, brother. She wants it.
That thing has been a gorilla on her back. Because ever since she got to 23, she's been losing. Mm-hmm. She used to dominate Queens. And she went, I want to say, 2 semifinals in Queens and got beat. 2 finals in Queens and got beat. And now she's 29. She'll be 40 in September. Mm-hmm. Time is running out because Osaka and some of these other young girls, I don't know if she can beat them now. She's having a hard time beating them. So maybe there's something to what Kelly said, that she has a baby. I know a baby's way more important, but if she, deep down, she wants the 24. I know she wants it, but how much longer is she going to play? And right now, if you don't want the 24, what are you playing for? Are you just playing for the love of the game? You got enough money. What are you playing for at this point, going into 40?
Antonio, Brandon, both of you guys get in here. Does she come back and get 24, or this is it? Age 40, too much? Both of you guys go.
I say she does. When that happens, I don't know, but nothing to prove to me.
Okay. Hey, Willie?
I say she does. And even if she doesn't get it, it doesn't diminish 23 and everything she's done for the sport. I'll say this really quick. I'm so nervous when I watch her. I'm more nervous watching her than I was when I actually played. I'm so nervous watching her.
Yeah.
Because I want her to win so bad.
I know. Right? You're right, man. Yeah. We'll see. I'd love to see it happen next year, 2021 or 2022, here in the city, U.S. Open, or I guess Wimbledon on the grass where she's been dominating right there. So let's all lift up Serena Williams. Hopefully she can get recovered and rehab from this torn hamstring. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back to the esports part of Esports Extra. We're talking NBA 2K League. Oh, the finals going on in Dallas. We'll get into that. And also Madden 22 player power rankings. We got some news to break down. The top 2 guys played in our leagues, which you see right here on BNC. We'll have it for you next here on Esports Extra on BNC. Back here on Esports Extra, the show that talks through sports, esports, gaming, entertainment, and culture. Literally, you see sports, Matt Infield, NBA 2K League. I got the whole cast with me here. I got Brandon Bell, Antonio Williams, Kelly Rose, Brinkley, Durham World. Guys, let's talk esports real quickly. NBA 2K League playoffs beginning this weekend. And our guy, OG King Kurt and the Brooklyn Nets gaming crew down there. Of course, we're all rooting for Brooklyn, right? Oh, that's the dancing weather guy from Charlotte. He's part of the marketing here. It's pretty cool right there, NBA 2K League. Guys, your thoughts here? Let's get some love and some shout outs to our guy, OG King Kurt. Go Brooklyn, go, right?
Let's go, Brooklyn. OG, bring it home, baby.
Yes, sir. You know, rooting for the big dog, OG King Kurt, and the Brooklyn fellas there. So hope they bring it home.
What is Kelly doing?
Gang.
Yes.
No question. Nets or nothing. Gang.
Hey, Willie, what do you think? Nets, right?
Yeah, Nets gaming crew all day, every day. Nothing
But Nets. Cutting down the Nets in Dallas, baby. That's what we're doing. If they can't win it, I would love to see somebody. I love the Celtics in it because that's our good brother Rico. So we'll see about that. But it's good to see those guys. I guess the top 8 teams are down there or something like that, playing for hundreds of thousands of dollars. So good luck to OG and the rest of the teams down there in Dallas, NBA 2K League. Where are you at, Antonio Williams? Real quickly, Madden 22 player power rankings came out. The top 10, the top 2 players. Drenny started his career, won his first event, our event, Microsoft Store, 4 years ago in 2017 with Compete Forever. The number 2 player, Jay Wall, played in our events 2 years ago. Foxwoods 2 or 3 times, made it to a couple of live finals as well. So rooting for all those guys. It's good to see these guys. Matt putting some marketing behind this, some messaging behind this. Ranking these guys, we see the prize pool. Look at that trade. He's won $375,000 since he made the NCS, which was just 3 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. Like I said, number 1 player, his first event, Drenny. If you don't give us some love on Twitter, I'm going to take it, son. Because I got pictures of you when you were young at 17, crying, wanting to play Madden. And we said, come on, you can play in our stuff. I gave him a signed Jets, I guess a Jets helmet, a football, and some other stuff. I think it was Sheldon Richardson was the side football, if I'm not mistaken. Your thoughts here, guys, on our Madden 22, the player rankings?
Those guys are so good, man. They're young and they're so good. 19, and I wish I was as good as them. 20 years old, and look at the money that these kids have brought in. And some of them are still kids to me. Anyway, I'm an old man, but it's just tremendous. It's a great way, you know, to be at home, make some money, be competitive, and pay for college if you want to.
The young man's game. Look at Drenny. I think he's basically barely 21. So, you know, these guys are making money. So we definitely want to see those guys continue. And so shout out to Henry too as well. He's number 3 in the country right there. African-American kid is doing very well. This close, I think he might win a belt here very soon. It'd be nice if he can win one. Joe, also the number 8 player, won a belt a couple of years ago as well, started in our league. So 3 of the top 10 guys right now started in our leagues and have won our event. So shout out to Compete Forever and Black News Channel. I guess, is that shout out to myself?
Gary Horowitz, go
Light
ahead.
Light black.
Yeah, and Brandon Bell, who's the color analyst there. Guys, all right, we'll see you next weekend, guys. Saturday and Sundays right here each and every weekend. Esports Extra will have episode 9. Saturday and Sundays we'll come at you with a new episode for Brandon Bell, the former Bengals linebacker, Antonio Williams, the former Sun Scout, Kelly Rose Brinkley, our Olympian, London 2012 bronze medalist, and Durham Morrell, all-around good guy, husband and sportscaster. I'm literally CEO Sports Matt NFL. We'll see you guys next week, Saturday and Sunday, 4 p.m. Eastern, right here on BNC. Guys, wave, everybody. Truth. What's up, Gary Wardlow? We'll see you next week. Bye.